Ninth Annual Anti-Violence Project 2025, presented in conjunction with Quapaw Nation Communications. The Anti-Violence Project 2025 were a series of 60-minute specials that aired across KSN 16 and KODE 12 during the months of April and May. However, this year, the media was expanded to create panels and community events to bring light to the issues going on in our community and stories of those affected. In the heart of America's four-state region, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kansas, Arkansas, community leaders, advocates, survivors, and indigenous families unite. In spring 2025, the 9th Annual Anti-Violence Project took shape through powerful panels, awareness walks, live broadcasts, and legislative action. In Miami, Oklahoma, the Coleman Theater hosts the Anti-Violence Project, Stand With Us Against Child Abuse. Tribal leaders, child welfare experts, local law enforcement, and community advocates, hosted by Howie Nunnally and Bubba Evansko.
Anti-Violence Project, it's just going to be huge, man.
Yeah, that's your baby.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
you got to be a proud papa this year with everything going on with it.
It's interesting, you know. It says anti-violence, and we're doing a forum tomorrow down there at Coleman. But really, it's not. Violence is in many forms. You know what I mean? Self-harm is a form of violence.
Right.
You know, if you're talking mental health, you know, we can have violent thoughts.
Right.
Toward ourselves and others. So it's not just about what you would consider violence, so to speak.
You know, and I think a lot of it is just getting to the root of it, because, I mean, you can't stop violence if you don't understand where it comes from and what originates, and it's very cyclical. It's very, you know, it comes in all forms.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing in a lot of your interviews that, of course, the Anti-Violence Project, check it out, Four States homepage, that you'll see is the recurring message of the root cause of this and how to attack it, and that ultimately will help you win the war against it. Otherwise, you're just kind of spinning your wheels.
Yeah, it's kind of like treating the symptoms and not the disease.
You know,
with that, it's of course the blue pinwheel. You're going to see a lot about that, and the coffee.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's we're highly caffeinated. Blue pinwheel. Of course, you know the blue pinwheel is significant in the month of April. It you know represents safety, love, support, you know, kind of the innocence of a child. So if you've ever wondered what the blue pinwheel that you see in the month of April, of course, that's kind of what it is. And partial proceeds, of course, go to Quapaw Nation Family Services with this. So
President Reagan was the established National Abuse Prevention Month with the blue pinwheel. And, you know, some statistics, when you hear this, you don't hear statistics, you don't hear numbers, you know, but 600,000 plus children were found to be victims of abuse or neglect. This is from 2022. And there were 1,820 child fatalities linked to maltreatment.
Right.
And the highest rate of victimization for children under 1 year of age. I mean, if you just, and then, so you hear those numbers, and then with the Anti-Violence Project, you know, we try to put a face to it, and then dig deep into the root cause, and that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow.
Right, and you can actually engage in those conversations with leadership. I mean, and what's terrifying is, you know, statistically, you probably know somebody, or everybody knows somebody that has experienced this, or been a victim, or in the cycle, and so it's all about breaking that cycle, and it starts with the conversation. It starts with acknowledging it and discussing it and getting out in the open and figuring out a better way. And it starts with conversations like the one tomorrow at the Coleman Theater, 2 p.m. And of course, we understand work schedules, so that's why you can stream it on fourstateshomepage.com. But you're going to be there talking with tribal leadership, of course, Quapaw Nation, Wyandotte, Miami, and of course other people like Lorraine Bible, who's been going through her own battles for 25 years.
Huge battle, and you know, of course, that's national news. You know what, you know, her story, and she'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Of course, her bill is in Oklahoma Senate now. You know, it didn't pass last year, and that's why, you know, we're going to give her a forum to come out. You can come engage. You can see a preview of the Anti-Violence Project, and you can actually have one-on-one discussions with everybody. And if there's something that you wanted to know, here's your opportune time.
It'll be there. And this is one of two that we're going to be doing. We'll be talking about that later.
What's going
on that, but we would like your help in promoting this.
This was the first time many of the tribes of the Intertribal Council of Northeastern Oklahoma had partnered together for a cause like this.
We're the host. We brought in a lot of people to help us with everything from suicide to drug overdose. And you name it, we've talked about it. And it's changed throughout the years. Is it?
It was a momentous day, as these events were held in conjunction with Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month, in the month of April. The event, for the first time, was streamed live on KSN 16, KOD 12, and simulcast on 4stateshomepage.com, marking a bold step in raising awareness of child abuse in indigenous and rural communities. Next, a few miles across state lines in Joplin, Missouri a week later, the fight continues at another community anti-violence discussion.
It's about keeping this topic energized.
A panel of community leaders, state officials, law enforcement, and human rights advocates came together to participate in a discussion meant to deter violence.
Unfortunately, things in the world do not seem to be getting better, and so you do what you can to combat it.
The discussion is part of the Anti-Violence Project. It started nearly a decade ago by Good Morning 4 States anchors Howie Nunley and Bubba Evansko, moderators of the panel.
You got to start somewhere, and you start by talking about it, and you start by identifying the issues, and that's what we're doing here today.
The project focuses on finding solutions to help combat rising violence in our area.
Violence is, it takes many different forms and many different shapes, and as a result, it's almost a constant learning process to become aware of what that can look like, especially if it's not something that's directly touched our lives before.
The panel held at Joplin's Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex allowed the community to join in on the discussion.
We're on social media and we're saying things or doing things, but we're not having really in-depth conversations and peeling back the layers of some of these issues that are impacting so many of us.
Everybody has a contribution to make in this community, and anything that we can do to help people get their best foot forward, it not only helps them, it helps the entire community.
Those looking to learn from the Anti-Violence Project can watch the hour-long special on KSN and KODE, which airs throughout April and May. You can also watch it on our website, 4stateshomepage.com.
MMIP Walk and the Ashley and Loria Bill, May 6, 2025.
Paw Nation hosted a missing or murdered Indigenous person support walk this morning at its Route 66 roadside park in Quapaw. Today's guest speaker, Laureen Bible, the mother of Laura Bible, who, along with Ashley Freeman, were kidnapped, raped, and murdered just over 25 years ago. Their bodies have never been found. This event came a day after what is the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls.
This is our way of letting their spirits, we believe their spirits are out somewhere. We're all connected through here. He's seen to it that we're connected this way. So we know, and we don't forget. We never forget, and we never give up.
If someone has information, don't take it for granted that law enforcement that's currently working on cases has all the answers. So if you know something or you hear something, it may be new information. Come forward. It may be something, that one thing that could crack the case open and solve a case.
We asked Laureen Bible about the news yesterday of Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt officially signing Laura and Ashley's Law, which in part would add accessory to murder in the first or second degree to the list of crimes requiring an offender to serve 85% of their prison sentence before being eligible to be considered for parole.
Our family, it won't help us, but the next family that holds somebody accountable for accessory to murder will be kept in jail. Because when Ronnie Busick was let out, he was 17 miles from my house, walking around doing what he wanted to do. But I wasn't supposed to go bother him. He has rights. What about my daughter's rights? What about Ashley's rights?
The law goes into effect November 1st.